It's Thursday night in the A. You know what that means. Kelly Price and Tori McElhaney is coming at you on Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
We are back! Y'all, I cannot believe we are 24 hours, less than that actually, 24 hours away from the first preseason game. Where did the offseason go? It seems like just yesterday I was here, 9 months pregnant, and we were talking about the Falcons in early 2025, and now we're here.
And my hair is shorter, which isn't the same thing, but it is also something that's different.
We love transformational moments. Well, the more things change, the more they really stay the same, or at least kind of. There are lots of familiar franchise faces among the 2025 Falcons, but a lot of position battles still to be won. Let's huddle up about it, y'all.
Let's huddle up with Kelly and Tori on the world of Falcons football.
Well, the Falcons doubled down on improving their defense in this past NFL draft. I mean, literally in the first round with 2 edge rushers. But I actually think it's their 3rd round pick who could be making a huge impact on what this defense can do in 2025. 2-time All-American Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame has been leaving solid impressions in training camp. But as the Falcons try to zero in on who they can pair with Jesse Bates over at safety, don't count out veteran Jordan Fuller, who signed with Atlanta this offseason. He has familiarity with Raheem Morris from their time winning a Super Bowl in LA together. Tori, I want to know what you've seen develop here.
Yeah, so this is a 3-man race between Xavier Watts, Jordan Fuller, and don't forget DeMarco Hellams. The Falcons held their first team scrimmage on Wednesday, and all 3 of these guys were getting significant reps with the first team defense along with Jesse Bates III. This, to me, signals that this race may actually be a bit closer than what we even thought it was pre that scrimmage. Still, I think it is Xavier Watts' race to win. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get him ahead. But hey, I'm not counting out that being in week 1.
Another position battle I'm really interested to see shake out this preseason, the kicker. You don't know what you've got till it's gone, right? Younghoe Koo, he had been the guy here for a while, but he was even a Pro Bowler in 2020, but he just wasn't himself last year, missing 9 field goals, then ending the year on IR with a hip injury. In comes German kicker Lenny Krieg, who as an international program player can take up an extra roster spot and give Koo quite the feeling of kind of always looking over his shoulder, right, Tori?
A little healthy competition never hurt nobody, and I think that's where we find Koo and Krieg right now. However, I don't think this is as hotly contested as some maybe thought going into training camp. If we're sticking with this race metaphor that I've got going on, this is Koo's race to lose, meaning he is so out in front that only something with him could change that. I like the fact that you do have someone like Krieg on this roster, but it's feeling right now that it's very much Koo's job.
Right, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of doses of both those guys in the preseason to figure that out. Well, on offense, obviously we know Drake London, Darnell Mooney, they were one of the NFL's best receiving tandems a year ago, but what about the receiver depth behind them? Ray McLeod, Daryl Hodge, they're solid vets in the mix. Last year's 6th rounder Casey Washington could be more involved this season, and they also bring in return specialist / receiver Jamal Agnew. Are these guys maybe some ones that we'll see more in the preseason to figure out how this group is going to shake out?
Yeah, so the player that you mentioned who stands to benefit the most from camp is Casey Washington. As our viewers may know, Darnell Mooney has a shoulder injury and is expected to miss the majority of the preseason. Raheem Morris said a few days ago that the Falcons will reevaluate his status closer to week 1 of the regular season. And you know, who's been kind of taking the bulk of Mooney's would-be reps with the first team offense? It's been Casey Washington. And I will say, the Falcons really haven't missed a beat with him in, which I think speaks to his readiness for the moment.
Finally, let's talk about Nickelback. I was going to make a photograph joke here, but I feel like I was really getting dad joke vibes with that one. So anyways, D. Alford has held this position down for a little bit here in Atlanta, but another one of those defensive draft picks, Billy Bowman, out in Oklahoma, he's an option here as well. I would have thought going into camp that Clark Phillips III would have been as well. So what exactly is going on there?
Yeah, so Kelly, this has been a 2-man race, not the 3-man race that I think we all assumed it would be going into camp. Back during the spring, Raheem Morris said, yeah, we're going to move Clark Phillips inside and get him some looks there. And well, we're 2 weeks into camp, and I don't think I've seen Clark working out of the slot even once. He's been an outside corner with that 2nd and 3rd team. And that may speak to what the Falcons actually feel like they have in Billy Bowman Jr., feeling like they really don't need to take away reps from Bowman or Alford if those are the guys that they think have the best shot at that spot. And so far, it's kind of been D. Alford who's getting the most run with the ones.
All right, time to talk about a photograph that every time I do look at it, it does make me laugh. For the first time this season, we're walking in. This looks like the side quest of a lifetime, Tori. I mean, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons in Dubai? You might ask why. I ask why not. In case you missed it, back in March, this unlikely quartet posted some pictures in the desert, riding camels, and of course, taking selfies in headscarves. They're just like me, for real. Look at this.
So this is like, this whole trip is the one that keeps circling now that everything going on in Dallas with Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons has hit the
Right.
fan. And I have to say, it does. I'm with you. It makes me laugh every single time, and I kind of want them to bring it back one day. Like, let's have a whole conversation about what this trip was.
I saw a picture where they cropped everyone except Justin Fields out. And we're
Yes.
like, oh, there's the
Wow.
Falcons.
Yeah.
All right, next up, a first-round fit for the first-round pick. I don't know if this is like a Cowboy Carter concert getup or what, but I am here for the matching vibes from head to literally toes.
Yeah, I think we all felt that this was a Cowboy Carter summer, right? Like
Yes.
that's what Beyonce
Yes.
wanted for us, and Jalen Carter's leaning into that.
And what Beyonce wants, Beyonce gets.
Yeah.
Finally, Tori, I didn't even have to scroll once on Ray McLeod's
Not
Instagram
even
feed
once.
to find something of him stunting on us.
Yep.
He hosted a pre-ESPYs charity celebration in Hollywood, as one does. And, you know, the fit was fitting. Leather cutoff top paired with these, like, glittery baby blue trousers that I, like, simply need these in my closet. And, of course, topped off with the signature shades and some ice.
Oh yeah, Ray, he never misses with his fits, but
No.
this one particularly is a chef's kiss. I think that I also need those baby blue pants because the texture and the color, I love it.
Obsessed. All right, coming up later in the show, I go one-on-one with QB1. Don't miss that conversation later in the show.
Plus, the newest Falcons didn't waste any time getting out into the community. We'll show you how next on Rise Up Tonight.
Rise Up Tonight is presented by AT&T and brought to you by Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. By Mercedes-Benz, the best of nothing. And by Home Depot, how doers get more done. Do you ever wonder what's really on your favorite player's mind? It's time for the question of the week.
Essentials for camp.
Yeah, good question. Good question.
Yay!
Pillow. I bring an Xbox just to chill out at home. Your own pillow is like such a big one. Just to keep that the same.
You gotta bring your own pillow. See, I was thinking about bringing my weighted blanket, but I was like, the blankets are fine.
Making sure I have a charger so my headphones and everything are kind of good, and like throwing my headphones on and being in my own world half the day.
I try to get coffee just black, but I've been throwing the really, really sugary sweet cream in there. That's my treat.
Bring the kids as much as possible and play with them on the field afterwards. And besides that, I'm not sure much can replicate home.
You know, Kaden, it's so true. The little baby snuggles, they hit different.
They
but
really
so
do.
does a coffee with a giant sugar cube in it for Kirk.
And I now know where the sweet creamer is going, Kurt. Like
From the cafeteria?
Yes, it's low all the time, and that's what I also go to.
He's like, caramel pump.
goodness, Kurt.
All right, well, there'll be lots of eyes on the Falcons' 2 first-round picks on the football field this fall, but after getting drafted, one of the biggest days of their lives, they spent a day giving back to their new city. Time to rise up for Atlanta, brought to you by Truist. A few months ago, the Falcons rookies gave back to the future stars of the game, participating in a camp filled with some young, eager kids excited to meet the newest Falcons. The rookies jumped in and coached some of the kids as they went through a variety of drills. Of course, a little competition to get the juices flowing. The Falcons' top overall pick in edge rusher Jalen Walker said days like this mean a lot to him. All right, record scratch. Yep, you're probably wondering how Raheem Morris got here. We'll show you later on in the show. And coming up next, just 2 kids from Tampa chopping it up, MPJ and me, talking everything from fiancés to football and more. Don't miss that conversation after the break.
Welcome back to Rise Up Tonight. Let's head in the nest with Kelly, Tori, and this week's special guest, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
So first, I just want to talk about the offseason. Obviously, you got engaged. I want to know the story of how that all happened. How'd you get the surprise down?
So I feel like what helped the surprise is because we had practice. But all our both my family and her family were in town. And I told her family, hey, can y'all take her to the mall and just distract her for a whole day? So I guess tensions got a little high because she doesn't like to be out shopping all day. She goes and get what she wants and, you know, head home. But like her parents was like, oh, we need to stop at this store. And she was just like, I guess she was ready to go home. But
getting suspicious.
And she thought I was, yeah, so she was getting suspicious. The only thing that threw her off was I had practice the whole day. So she's like, there's no way nothing can happen with me having practice. But I actually had people at home setting up while I was at practice. And then I got home before her. And it kind of happened like that. She had a feeling, but she just didn't know completely.
Women, we always know. I think there's always something like that behind every engagement story where the woman knew. And you also, this offseason back home in Tampa, you had like a camp for kids. Like, how'd that go?
It was great. It was a good turnout. So we actually had, for registration, there's like over 600 people registered. But we said we were only taking 25, so 250 I meant. And so we took the 250. I think we had about maybe 15 more, so probably around like 275, something like that. About another 25 more. And it was crazy, but it was good. Like all the people that helped me work it, like my agents and stuff like that, you know, helping make sure everything was right in place. You know, they did a great job, and everybody had a good time. It was a really good time.
Well, obviously, the national conversation was kind of talking about a different Falcons quarterback a lot this offseason. I mean, what was that like for you to kind of take that all in and be in your own lane with that?
Yeah, you know, I just got to control what I can control, and that's what I've always known. That's what I've always done. I didn't always come into a situation where I was starting. You know, I had to go earn that spot. And, you know, so each and every day I just continue to put in the work, you know, continue to be myself and just show my talents on the field and, you know, also be a leader off the field as well. So, and I knew as long as I continue to do that, you know, things would fall in place. And it did, you know, and it's a blessing that I'm in this position I'm in now, you know, something I've been dreaming about since I was a kid. So it's surreal.
I know you talked about your very first day, some of your very first words coming up on that podium was, hey, did you guys see that I got Kyle Pitts the ball? Why was it important for you to kind of make that statement and talk about kind of your relationship that you're kind of forming with him?
Yeah, I mean, we got a great relationship. You know, he's my golf partner. I just said we were golfing on our off day yesterday. Man, it's been great. But, you know, just, you know, I know a lot of people on the outside want to see more production, want to see him with the ball more in his hands. And that's something that we're definitely going to make sure that we do better with this year. And he's going to make plays for us. He's going to make big-time plays. He's a big-time playmaker. And we got to give him the opportunity to make those plays. And, you know, he puts in the work, you know, so I feel like I just wanted to highlight him and, you know, just the day that he had on that first day.
I asked about the golf in a second. That's something I wanted to talk about. But just talking about the off-season work that you did with him, with Drake, with, you know, a number of the guys, how does that translate onto this field at this time of year?
I mean, it's about the connection, you know, just being comfortable and just knowing whenever Drake and Mooney, those guys run a route, you know, they know where I want to put the ball and, you know, they know where to be at, you know, so that they can get the ball. So just having that connection, you know, also building a relationship off the field as well. You know, we also got dinner and stuff together, you know, hung out with each other, you know, outside of, you know, just training. So just having that relationship build each and every day, that's something that's going to help our connection on the field.
It's been a crazy year for you to think back to this time last year. I mean, what would you tell Michael Penix Jr., who was walking onto this practice field a year ago?
Just keep working. You know, just keep working. That's what it's all about. You know, it's hard. It's hard. This league is hard. You know, each and every week, you know, not every team have the great record, but you know, every team have good players. You know, we're all here for a reason, you know, so just continue to keep working, you know, continue to keep building each and every day, and that's the biggest thing, you know, I just continue to tell myself, just keep working, you know, day to day, day in, day out, you know, just be yourself and, you know, go out there and be the best version of yourself each and every day.
Nobody knows about that playoff drought more than Falcons fans, but I know you feel it as well, just coming in here. How do you guys break that playoff drought this year?
You know, taking it one step at a time. You know, we got to fall in love with the process. You know, it's not gonna come in one day. You know, it's not gonna come in 2 days. You know, we gotta work and build up to that. You know, and I feel like we've been doing a great job with that so far this off season. And we got the talent. We got everything we need to be able to make that big run. You know, in the playoffs and playing in the postseason. You know, we just got to go out there and do it.
We've heard votes of confidence. Obviously, Raheem Morris. Obviously, Terry Fontenot. But Arthur Blank, you know, giving you that vote of confidence. What does that mean to you to hear them speak that way about you?
It means a lot. You know, I feel like I had to earn that. That's not something that you just give somebody whenever they walk in the door. That's something that, you see each and every day, the work that they put in, the consistency that they do it at. And, I feel like I've just been trying to be myself and trying to make sure I've been that guy that the team can look at and be like, okay, each and every day I know what I'm going to get out of him. And, I feel like, I pride myself in that, and I'm going to continue to do that. So.
How do you feel like this year is different? Like, is there a different vibe around this team, in your opinion?
The energy is up.
Yeah?
The energy is up. You see it in practice, but that's how I say the energy is up.
Is that just the competitiveness? I mean, how does putting on pads too, like, increase that energy and that vibe?
Oh, it's a lot. It's crazy, because you got everybody, competing at a higher level. Because when you don't have pads on, it's hard to be able to simulate what the play is going to look like, because defense is just tagging off, and offense, we not pancaking nobody. We're not putting nobody to the ground. We're still not doing that with pads and stuff like that, but it's just bring a different intensity, because we know, okay, they can go a little bit harder, on each and every play, so it's been good.
You mentioned the fans. I mean, they've embraced you so much. Like, how much do you feel that, and how much does that mean to you?
Oh, it's great, man. It's amazing. The amount of fans we've been having at these practices, it's been amazing. Just seeing and feeling the energy of the city. It's been great. Last year we couldn't have fans here because we were doing construction and stuff. But to feel the energy that they're bringing is crazy. And I love game day, seeing the Dirty Bird nest. How rowdy they get. It's great. I feel like when we were winning, the city is behind us, and it's amazing.
That's for sure. One more thing I'll ask you about. You talked about golf a little bit earlier. Raheem actually earlier today talked about how he thinks you're obsessed with golf right now because it's like the first thing that you're trying to figure out, and maybe you weren't naturally amazing at, the first time you picked it up. Do you feel like that he said that kind of shows your competitiveness and how you want to just be good at everything? Like, what's your experience with golf been like?
No, for sure. It's been up and down. It's been bumpy.
That's the game of golf, though, I feel like.
Yeah, so the thing about it, like with football, I don't really get too frustrated in football because, okay, if I miss a throw, I'm like, okay, I know I can make that throw. When game time come, I will make that throw. But it's like golf, it's like, I know it's not the sport that I'm good at and that I'm naturally good at. But whenever I don't hit the ball straight, I get very frustrated, but I don't know why. Because at the end of the day, it's not my sport, but I just really want to be good at it. My fiance, she talked to me all the time. I always text her. I'm in the middle of a golf round. I'm like, man, I'm doing terrible. I'm getting frustrated. She's like, it's okay, you're good. And she always say, you're good at everything. And I'm like, not golf. But I'm trying to get there.
Kyle Pitts is good, right? Because I feel like he golfs a lot, so he's got to be good, right?
Yeah, he can play.
So does he kind of elevate your game going out with him?
He do. Yeah, he do. Okay. I got him on the back nine yesterday, but they whooped me on the front nine.
Hey, get him one time. Yeah. You mentioned also your fiance kind of giving you the inspiration there or whatever. How much of that did she give you last year and kind of throughout this last couple of years? How's your relationship grown with that? Because that's amazing to have her in your corner.
Yeah, it's been great. She's been positive. Everything she says is, it's always true to it. And sometimes I might not want to hear it. It's like, okay, I don't want to hear that right now. I want to hear something else. But she's always on me. She's like, you're good. Just continue to be yourself. Just continue to work hard, and your time will come. And she just always brings that confidence in me. So I'm glad I can go home and have somebody like that. Yeah. To be in my corner and know that she got my back no matter what. So.
That's how you know you have the one right there. Yeah. That's a good trait. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Best luck this season.
Thank you.
Hey Atlanta, this is Head Crack talking, and you watching Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
We always talk about Drake London being a different guy when he hits that football field. Here's an example of that. He destroyed Raheem Morris on Monday. And of course, he was a little dramatic with the fall there. But Tori, I need to know, is this a block or a charge?
Okay, Raheem Morris has stated since this happened that this was OPI. He claims
likely story.
Drake offensive pass interference. And I asked Michael Penix about it a couple days later, and he was like, Raheem's a coach now. He should understand he's a coach.
Know your limitations.
Know your limitations. Know your lane. This is not your lane anymore. Mike said maybe back in the day, Raheem could do this, but Drake has one on him now.
Oh my God, we've been seeing him do that against Julio and for a long time. But we love to see that from Raheem Morris. Great coach to bring the vibes up at camp, and hopefully we brought the vibes up for you tonight. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.